of his father Jagannath Mishra. He met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, saw Ishvarpuri was in a aesthetic symptoms, and seeing the aesthetic symptoms of Ishvarpuri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered his humble obeisances at the feet of Ishvarpuri Maharaj and asked him, please accept me and please teach me the way that I can perfect my life. And what Ishvarpuri did, he said, you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that time there was no initiation ceremony or sacrifice was performed. This is how our Guru Parampara was accepting each other from the heart to heart. But because we have fallen so much, now we have to perform some yagna ceremony and everything, so we feel obligation to our spiritual master. But before that, it was not like that. Narottam Das Thakur also, if you see, when he took initiation from Loknath Maharaj, he was simply asking for that, guide me, and they took shelter. So it says actually that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met the Mayavadi sannyasis at the Varanasi, they asked him, why wasn't he mixing with them and studying Vedanta? So how the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu responded them, that Guru Mora Murkha Dehi Karila Sasana. Quote, my spiritual master saw me as a great fool and he chastised me and he told me not to enter into discussions of Vedanta, but just to chant the holy names. And then Lord Chaitanya continued, but after some time, I manifested various symptoms like crying, dancing, shivering, and I thought that maybe I was going mad by the influence of the mantra. So he approached his spiritual master Ishvarpuri. And Srila Prabhupada comment that this is an instructions or illustrations that even someone who is liberated, what to speak of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is non-different than Krishna himself, combination form of Srimati Radha and Krishna. Still, he approaches Ishvarpuri for clarification. And the spiritual master Ishvarpuri said, quote, my dear child, I'm very pleased with you. You are manifesting symptoms of aesthetic love for Krishna, unquote. And he instructed him and blessed him, quote, may you continue to chant like this and share the chanting with others. So that's the instructions Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has received from Ishvarpuri. And we can see the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though he was expert in the scriptures. When famous became it, he wrote only 8 stanzas for us, and that's related to the holy name. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to fulfill the desire of Ishvarpuri, is to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and perfect our human form of life. So let's do a little bit in the life of Ishvarpuri. Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami has described in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that the first sprout of the desire tree of devotion was manifested in the person of Sri Madhavendra Puri. And that sprout developed into sapling in the person of Sri Ishvarpuri. Then in the person of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was also the gardener himself, that the sapling become the trunk of an enormous tree, the desire tree of devotion. Adi Leela 9, 10 and 11. So Ishvarpuri appeared in this world on the full moon day of the month of Jyeshtha, and he served his Guru, Sri Madhavendra Puri, very faithfully, especially during the end of Sri Puripad's life, described very nicely in Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 8:26. Sri Ishvarpuri, in his travels to various holy places, once came to Siddham Navadvip, where he stayed in the house of Sri Gopinath Acharya. And at that time, Sri Nimai Pandit was absorbed in his pastimes of learning. Ishvarpuri entered Nadia Nagar in disguise, and thus no one could understand who really he was. That noble-minded gentleman was always absorbed in the mellows of devotion to Sri Krishna. He was thus extremely dear to Sri Krishna, and he was an ocean of mercy. No one, however, could recognize him by his dress. By the will of fate, he came to see Advaita Acharya's house. Chaitanya Bhagavat described in Adi Leela 11. He came to where Sri Advaita Acharya was engaged in worshipping Sri Krishna and quietly sat down there. By his divine luster, one Vaishnava cannot remain hidden from another. Advaita Acharya began to look in his direction again and again. Finally, he asked him, "Bap, who are you? I have a feeling you are a Vaishnava sannyasi." So Ishvarpuri very humbly replied as follows, "I am a low-class Sudra, came to view your lotus feet," unquote. What a great humility. As we advance in spiritual life, we should become so humble to realize our real position, that we are very insignificant. So Mukunda Dutt, who was also present, could also understand that this is a Vaishnava sannyasi, and thus he contrived to expose him. So in his sweet voice, he began a kirtan describing Krishna's pastimes. So when Sri Ishvarpuri heard that kirtan, he at once fell to the ground, and the earth beneath him became wet with his tears. The devotees present were dumbstruck. Quote, "We haven't seen a Vaishnava like this before," unquote. So Advaita Acharya very firmly embraced him. Now everyone could understand that this is Madhavendra Puri's dearmost disciple, Sri Ishvarpuri. Loud shouts of Hari Hari rose up into the air. And we hear the story of Pundrika Vidyanidhi also, that Mukunda Dutt is the one who took, what is his disciple name? Then he took the Diksha from Pundrika Vidyanidhi. So first, when they went to Pundrik Vidyanidhi, he was wearing in a silken, very opulent dress and everything, enjoying the servants fanning him beautiful girls. So I forgot who took the initiation. Pandit Vidyanidhi disciple. Anyway, so he was just feeling that how this Mukunda Datta bring me to this person. He looks like he's enjoying the material opulences. So then the same thing happened, that they play or they read some pastimes of Krishna, and Pundrik Vidyanidhi fell down on the ground in ecstasis. And then the disciple of, I cannot remember now, Krishna is hiding my intelligence. Anyway, I'm not a learned person. So anyway, he then realized the positions of Pundrik Vidyanidhi and he became the disciple. So same thing over here, we can see that just by seeing that Ishvarpuri's, Madhavendra Puri's, the symptoms of his ecstasy, Ishvarpuri decided to surrender. So Ishvarpuri remained at Navadvip for some days. And one day it says that when Nimai Pandit was returning home from the school, he happened by chance to meet Ishvarpuri on the way. And Ishvarpuri was as though mesmerized while looking at the son of Sachi, and thought to himself, quote, he has all the indications of being a divine personage. It appears very grave indeed, unquote. So Srila Ishvarpuri inquired, O Viprabori, may I know your name? Where do you live? And what is that manuscript in your hand? Mahaprabhu very humbly offered his namaskar. And some of his disciples replied, quote, his name is Nimai Pandit, exclaiming that you are the famous Nimai Pandit. Ishvarpuri felt very happy to meet him. Mahaprabhu coming forward and bowing his head humbly requested, Shripad, please come with me to my house and be my guest for lunch. So Ishvarpuri thought to himself, quote, what a pleasant demeanor he has. As though charmed by some mantra, he quietly came along with the Pandit to his house. Arriving there, Mahaprabhu personally washed his feet. While in the deity room, Sachi Mata offered the various preparation that she had prepared to the Lord. Then Mahaprabhu showed the prasadam to Sri Ishvarpuri and afterward accepted his remanence. Thereafter they sat in the temple Vishnu Graha and discussed Krishna Katha, by which they both became filled with aesthetic love. So Sri Ishvarpuri thus remained at Navadvip for a few months, staying at the house of Sri Gopinath Acharya. Every day Mahaprabhu would come to have darshan of his lotus feet, and occasionally he would invite him for lunch. At that time, Srila Gadadhar Pandit was just a young boy, and Ishvarpuri was very affectionate to him. He began to teach him from the book which he had composed, Sri Krishna Lilamrita. So one evening, when Mahaprabhu had come to offer his obeisances to Ishvarpuri, Srila Puripad spoke to him as follows, quote, you are a great Pandit. I have composed a manuscript about Sri Krishna's pastimes. If you would, Please hear it. Then I can recite before you, and you can correct any mistakes that there might be. I will be very pleased if you do this, unquote. Mahaprabhu replied smilingly, quote, whatever a devotee speaks is dictated by Sri Krishna himself. If anyone sees any fault in this, then he is simply a sinful wretch. Whatever poem he composes, certainly Krishna is very pleased by that. Krishna accepts the mood in which things are offered as the most substantial part of the opening. What a wonderful instructions. Not what we offered, but in which mood we offered. That is, bring it out over here as most substantial. So to Ishvarpuri, these words were like drop of nectar. And he could understand that Sri Nimai Pandit was an extraordinary person. And after passing some days in Nadia, Ishvarpuri continued his tour of the holy places. Meanwhile, Mahaprabhu was bringing his pastimes of learning to a close and now desire to reveal his true self and establish the religion of the age by distributing love of God through the chanting of his holy names. Thus he came to Gaya, ostensibly to offer pinda for his departed father and forefather. Sri Ishvarpuri was present at that time at Gaya. After having offered pinda at the various holy shrines, he finally came to the place where the lotus feet footprints of Sri Vishnu are. While taking darshan and hearing of the glories of the shrine, Mahaprabhu fainted and fell to the ground. By the arrangement of the providence, Sri Ishvarpuri happened to come to that spot just then and learn from Sri Chandrasekhar Acharya what had transpired. After a short time, Mahaprabhu regained his consciousness and seeing Ishvarpuri, he got up to offer his obeisances. Ishvarpuri embraced him and the two of them were drenched by each other, tears of love. Mahaprabhu addressed Ishvarpuri as follows. My journey to Gaya is successful just by my seeing your lotus feet. If one offers pinda at this holy place, then his forefathers become delivered. That's why in Srimad Bhagavatam also this has been confirmed that we should go to the Gaya to offer the oblations for our forefathers. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, simply by seeing you, tens and millions of forefathers get liberation. Therefore, your presence is even more auspicious than that of this holy tirth. All of the holy tirths pray for the dust of your lotus feet. Therefore, O Puriphat, I'm praying at your lotus feet to ferry me across the ocean of material existence and to cause me to drink the nectar from Krishna's lotus feet. So how Ishvarpuri responded? As follows. Please hear me, Panditji. I have understood that you are an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. This morning I saw a very auspicious dream, and now that has actually materialized. From the first day I saw you at Navadvip, I have always thought of you. I get such pleasure by seeing you, as much pleasure as I get by seeing Krishna. Hearing this, Mahaprabhu bowed his head and smilingly replied, quote, This is my great fortune, unquote. On the other day, Mahaprabhu approached Ishvarpuri and requested that he initiate him with the divine mantra. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu worded, "My mind is becoming very restless in anticipation of the initiation." Quote, Srila Puripad very blissfully replied, quote, "What to speak of mantras? I'm prepared to offer you my very life." Chaitanya Bhagavat Adi Lila 17:10. Thereafter, Srila Ishvarpuri initiated Mahaprabhu with the divine mantra. One morning, Srila Ishvarpuri came to where Mahaprabhu was staying. Mahaprabhu was extremely pleased to see him, and after offering his obeisances, he invited him to stay for lunch. Ishvarpuri responded as follows, quote, "Being able to accept foodstuff from your hand is a matter of great fortune for me," unquote. Mahaprabhu himself cooked and then very carefully served his guru the prasad. Afterwards, he smeared sandalwood paste on his body and put a garland of flowers around his neck. This is also something that I come across other day. I was reading something. I don't know what I'm reading, but it says that if somebody garland you, we should not feel, oh, I'm something, but we should feel in Prabhupada's words that these soft flowers may make my heart soft, not filled with egos. So that garland somebody give you, you should feel that maybe Krishna, please help me that my heart can become as soft as these roses or whatever the flowers petals are. What a wonderful meditation. Not feeling, oh, I'm a something, so they are garlanding me. Haribo. So he put his sandalwood paste and put a garland of flowers around his neck. Thus the Supreme Lord himself taught how one should serve his guru. Without serving the great devotees, it is not possible to receive the love of Godhead. Service to Guru is the door to devotion. What a nice sentence. On his return from Gaya, Mahaprabhu came by way of Kumarthat, the birthplace of his Guru, Ishvarpuri, and began to roll on the ground in ecstasy there. And as the ground became wet with his tears, finally he collected some dust from that holy place and bound it in the corner of his upper garment, saying, "This dust is as dear to me as my life." Then he set out for Navadvip. So when we went to Prabhupada birthplace, I also collected some dust. Actually, I ate some dirt and put on my head. We should do that because that's not different than the lotus feet, because the lotus feet has walked in that area. And we are getting the Charanaraj of those personalities. So the birthplace of Srila Ishvarpuri is located within the present town of Khaliyahor, which is near the Kancharapura rail station, which is on the Selda Krishnanagar line. One should get down at Kancharapur station and then proceed by rickshaw to Chaitanya Doha. Doha means pond, which is what was created when many followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, following in his footsteps, came here and collected earth. Haribol, how many disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be there, so it's great upon. Everybody must have taken little. So thereafter, Mahaprabhu accepted sannyas, and by the order of his mother came to live at the Jagannath Puri. And by this time, Ishvarpuri had already left this world. So he sent two of his disciples, Sri Govinda and Kasishwara Brahmachari, to show the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the Gambhira. This is very nice. Also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, actually, it describes that Ramchandra Puri was the disciple of Madhavendra Puri, the spiritual master of Ishvarpuri, and a godbrother of Ishvarpuri. So, but he developed an offensive mentality toward his spiritual master, Madhavendra Puri. And as a result, he became so fallen that he dared to criticize even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let's read those, because offenses to the devotees is the grave offenses, and we will see the result of the offenses. It's very easy to recognize. How? Our Acharya says, when you become mad after material attachments to improve your situation, when you become so mad to achieve those material things, you know for sure that you have offended a Vaishnava. That's what our Acharya says. And then what happened? Because of these material opulences, you will become so ignorant that you will fall down, that you will never revive your Krishna consciousness. So be careful when even the material opulence come in your life. Don't enjoy yourself. Otherwise, it will take you downward. So it says that let me offer my respectful obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who reduced his eating due to fear of the criticism of Ramchandra Puri. So text 18 says that formally, when Madhavendra Puri was at the last stage of his life, Ramchandra Puri came to where he was staying. Madhavendra Puri was chanting the holy name of Krishna, and sometimes he would cry, "Oh my Lord, I did not get shelter at Mathura." Haribol. Then Ramchandra Puri was so foolish that he fearlessly dared to instruct his spiritual master. Haribol. If you are in full transcendental bliss, he said, you should now remember only Brahman. Why are you crying? This is Ramchandra Puri talking to his spiritual master, Madhavendra Puri. Srila Prabhupada says, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prashanatma, a Brahman realized person is always happy. No sochati na kamsati. He neither laments nor aspires for anything. Not knowing why Madhavendra Puri was crying, Ramchandra Puri tried to become his advisor. Thus, he committed a great offense. For a disciple should never try to instruct his spiritual master. Haribol. So in the comments, Srila Prabhupada says, the scripture contains many negative injunctions, such as the one we just read from the Gita, na sochati na kamsati. One who is on the Brahman platform neither hanker nor laments. But that refers, of course, to material hankering and lamentation. But there is also a spiritual hankering and lamentation, as exhibited by Srila Madhavendra Puri, who was hankering for none different than Krishna. So Madhavendra Puri is a very important figure in our parampara because he was the first to exhibit the feeling of separation in the mood of Srimati Radharani, which we must practice that mood, love in the separation. Because every one of us will lose our spiritual master one day. And then our devotion to our spiritual master will be seen. That how we maintain our dedication to our Guru Maharaj after he left the world. Because it's very nice when the spiritual master is present, we do behave very nicely. But real test comes when they have already departed, then nobody is to watch over you. And still you remain steadfast in the instruction of your spiritual master. That is the success of our devotional life. So it says the Madhavendra Puri was lamenting because he was not reaching his goal. The advanced devotee never felt my spiritual master Tamal Krishna Maharaj, when I was living with him in Vrindavan, he said, we should never feel that I have seen Krishna. Like the gopis in Vrindavan, they always look for, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? Even though they may have spent immense moments of time with Krishna, they always feel missing Krishna's association. So that's the mood of our Acharya. And it says at the end, Ramachandra Puri totally misunderstood his divine hankering and lamentation and advised him not to hanker and lament. So this is what it happened. So hearing this instruction, Madhavendra Puri, greatly angry, rebuked him by saying, get out, you sinful rascal. Prabhupada says in the purport as follows. Ramachandra Puri could not understand that his spiritual master, Madhavendra Puri, was feeling transcendental separation. His lamentation was not material, rather it proceeded from the highest stage of ecstasis, love of Krishna. When he was crying in separation, quote, I could not achieve Krishna. I could not reach Mathura. This was not ordinary material lamentation. Ramchandra Puri was not sufficiently expert to understand the feeling of Madhavendra Puri. But nevertheless, he thought himself very advanced. Therefore, regarding the Madhavendra Puri expressions as ordinary material lamentation, he advised him to remember Brahman because he was lallantly an impersonalist. Madhavendra Puri understood Ramchandra Puri's position as a great fool and therefore immediately rebuked him. Such a reprimand from the spiritual master is certainly for the betterment of the disciple. And more familiarity brings that contempt. So to show the spiritual master, we have to be extremely careful. So Srila Prabhupada gave a comment. So in Bengali it says, Krodha Ubjila. When Madhavendra Puri heard the words of Ramchandra Puri, Krodha, anger, arose in him. On the material platform, Krodha is no. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mudha, and Matsarya, lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and envy are enemies of the conditioned soul and are considered gateways to hell. So material anger arises when one's lust is frustrated. Kamat Krodha Vijayate. So in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Sanskrit term Kamanujarya for anger is used. Literally, Kamanujena means the younger brother of lust. The word Anuja, Ramanuja, is the younger brother of lust. Whereas the older brother goes, the younger brother follows. Whenever there is a lust, anger follows. Whenever material desires are frustrated, we become angry. Spiritually, when there is an obstacle to devotional service, one may also become angry, but not materially, but spiritually. And one can use that anger to remove the obstacle. So when we were in New Delhi with Srila Prabhupada for the first Delhi Pandal, a disciple, right? After the Pandal program, an American young man came to meet Srila Prabhupada, where he was staying. And he waxed eloquent about how if people become Krishna conscious, there will be no more anger in the world. And Srila Prabhupada responded, anger? Did someone tell you there is something wrong with anger? Krishna spoke the whole Bhagavad Gita just to make Arjuna angry, so that he would fight and kill the enemies. So there is also spiritual anger. So one point of view, Ramchandra Puri's presence was an impediment to Madhavendra Puri's meditation on Krishna. So Madhavendra Puri wanted him away. And on the other level, Ramchandra Puri's pride and tendency toward impersonalism are obstacle to his own spiritual advancement. And so his spiritual master rebuked him to purify him, as Srila Prabhupada noted. Such reprimand from the spiritual master is certainly for the betterment of the disciple. O my Lord Krishna, I could not reach you, nor could I reach your abode Mathura. I'm dying in my unhappiness, and now this rascal has come to give me more pain. Don't show your face to me, go anywhere else you like. If I die seeing your face, I shall not achieve the destination of my life. What a Ramchandra Puri person is. I'm dying without achieving the shelter of Krishna, and therefore I'm greatly unhappy. Now this condemned foolish rascal has come to instruct me about Brahma. Now generally the spiritual master doesn't reject a disciple, but still Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita say, Ye yathamam prapatyante tams tathavi bhajamyam. And Prabhupada write a comment, as people approach me, I reciprocate them accordingly. If someone neglects Krishna, Krishna will neglect him. The spiritual master is a representative of Krishna, and in fact, Ramchandra Puri had rejected Madhavendra Puri as his spiritual master, because how can a disciple advise his spiritual master? One time Tamal Krishna Maharaj was telling me that if you are in an assembly of more advanced devotee than you, and somebody may be asking some question to the senior person, and even though, and you see that answer and question going on, And you may have an idea that, oh, I can defeat this person questions. But my Guru Maharaj told me, then never open your mouth. Don't try to prove you are more intelligent than other person, even though you know something better. Because this is not how Krishna will look at. That was a profound instruction. You keep your mouth shut. And which is very difficult. We want to show, oh, you know, this great person cannot answer, but I can answer so nicely. Convince the people. Give up the tendency. Haribol. So it says that one of the lessons here is that if the disciple gets too close to the spiritual master without having required purity, he or she may mistaken him to be an ordinary person and commit offenses. It happened with some of Srila Prabhupada's personal servants and all our acharyas even after that. Srila Prabhupada never rejected a disciple unless the disciple rejected him. One case was Prabhupada's disciple Arvinda, who served for some time as Prabhupada's personal servant, but eventually he left. And this has been going on through the generations. So later, he met a devotee who informed him that Srila Prabhupada was in town. Quote, you should come and meet Srila Prabhupada. So devotee told him like that. And Arvinda came. And when he saw Prabhupada, he told him, Krishna consciousness never really worked for me, so I left. Unquote. Indirectly, he was criticizing Srila Prabhupada and Krishna consciousness. And how Srila Prabhupada responded? Good. I'm glad you left, because now I don't have to look at your morose face anymore. So reading this line from Madhavendra Puri, don't show your face to me, reminded me that the Srila Prabhupada was same response. So Ramchandra Puri was thus denounced by Madhavendra Puri due to his offense. Gradually, material desire appeared within him. That's the sign. So you are, and if you are making some material advancement, acquiring the wealth and name and fame, you should know where it is coming from. So Prabhupada says about this, the word vasana, material desire, refer to dry speculation knowledge, and such speculative knowledge is only material. So one of the effects of the offense is that one becomes influenced by material desire and sometimes is overwhelmed by them. Oh, I'm a great, look at that, how much money I have, how beautiful palace I have. And then, to justify one's sinful activities, one may speculate and manufacture many excuses, or one may develop an impersonal attitude. Yet, another effect of offense, and this is very common, is that one becomes prone to commit more offenses, as explained in the next verse. And I have seen in my own life, once you become inimical, that's it. You will go beyond your limit, and your intelligence will never protect your devotion. You will become mad, and you cannot control. That's the reactions of the offenses. So one who is attached to dry speculation knowledge has no relationship with Krishna, Haribol. His occupation is criticizing Vaishnavas, and thus he is situated in criticism. Comment. The first offense to the holy name is sadhuninda, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name. And we should avoid that at all the cost. So now we come to the example of a devoted disciple. The real hero for today is Sri Ishvarpuri. Ishvarpuri, the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, performed service to Madhavendra Puri, cleaning up his stool and urine with his own hands. Ishvarpuri was always chanting the holy name and pastimes of Lord Krishna for Madhavendra Puri to hear. In this way, he helped Madhavendra Puri remember the holy name and pastime of Lord Krishna.
એ જે લોકો રહેતા હતા ને એના સીઈઓ બી રહેવા આવી ગયા છે હવે.
હરિબોલ.
એટલે કે એને પાછું કૂકુ છે, નાનું કંઈક બેબી છે.
હરિબોલ. I don't know how come they can become so unattentive. Haribo. So, and if you are attending to someone who is leaving his or her body, this is our duty, to help them remember the holy name and pastime of Lord Krishna at the time of death. Ante Narayana Smriti. This is the job. Pleased with Ishvarpuri, Madhavendra Puri embraced him and gave him the benedictions that he would be a great devotee and lover of Krishna. So this Ishvarpuri is giving us an indication. Thus, Ishvarpuri became like an ocean of aesthetic love for Krishna, whereas Ramchandra Puri became a dry speculator and a critic of everyone else. Text 52. Ishvarpuri received the blessings of Madhavendra Puri, whereas Ramchandra Puri received rebuke from him. Therefore, these two persons, Ishvarpuri and Ramchandra Puri, are example of the object of great personalities, benedictions, and punishment. Madhavendra Puri instructed the entire world by presenting these two examples. So Prabhupada writes the comment. So it is stated that the dust of the lotus feet of pure devotee is very powerful. But that the same dust, listen very carefully, my dear devotees, the same dust that elevates one to the highest level of Krishna consciousness, to the spiritual realm of Vrindavan, can also push one down to the hell if one offend it. If one offend the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotees. So this principle was enunciated by Sati to her father Daksh, after Daksh has offended Lord Shiva, the greatest Vaishnava. Vaishnavanam yatha shambhu. And the purport is relevant to the present discussion. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 4, Sati quit her body. And third, text 13, Sati says, translation goes like this, that it is not wonderful for a person who have accepted the transient material body as the self to engage always in deriding great souls. Such envy on the part of materialistic person is very good, because that is the way they fall down. They are diminished by the dust of the feet of great personalities. And Srila Prabhupada explained in the purport as follows. Everything depends on the strength of the recipient. For example, due to scorching sunshine, many vegetables and flowers dry up and many grow luxuriantly. Thus, it is the recipient that causes growth and dwindling. Similarly, Mahasayam Pada Rajo Bhiksham, the dust of the lotus feet of great personalities, offer all good to the recipient. But the same dust can also do harm. Those who are offended at the lotus feet of a great personality dried up, their godly qualities diminish. A great soul may forgive offenses, but Krishna does not excuse offenses to the dust of that great soul's feet. Just as one can tolerate the scorching sunshine on one's head, but cannot tolerate the scorching sunshine on the one's feet. Srila Prabhupada write a comment. So Lord Chaitanya accepted Sri Ishvarpuri as his spiritual master. And because he was such a perfect disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Krishna himself was pleased to accept him as his spiritual master. Later, Lord Chaitanya visited Ishvarpuri's birthplace at Kumarhati and collected some earth from the birth site, which he kept very carefully and ate a small portion of it daily. Thus, he showed us how a faithful disciple worships a spiritual master who has faithfully served his spiritual master perfectly. So on this auspicious occasion, we pray to Sri Ishvarpuri and his disciple, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, will bless us with pure devotion to our spiritual master. So my dear devotees, let's keep these instructions imbibed in our heart. Please do not listen any blasphemy of any devotees. That's not our business. Krishna always take care. We don't have to correct anybody. We don't have to. But there is also, I was reading that if you have a sympathy towards someone, that you are the well-wisher of that person, then you have the right to correct them. So sympathy is the main word. If you have good wishes for the other person, then you can correct them. Otherwise, that's not our business, because Krishna can handle them whatever need to be corrected. So this is very nice today that we learn so many things. You know, it is not good to become angry, but at some point in our life, we have to also show the anger. As Prabhupada gave the example that Krishna inside Arjuna, so he can do the right thing in his life by fighting, killing those demoniac people. So this is very nice.